Hello, Strange Wrenching here. I got a couple of projects today. I'm going to do steering column. I'm going to put in the truck just a universal GM style steering column. Try to use the factory column. Rewired it, got it working with the new wiring harness that's in the truck. However, the shift gate was wrong for the transmission for the shifter. It was originally a 3-speed truck. It was originally a 4-speed manual truck. I put an automatic column in it out of another truck, same year, just automatic, and it was a 3-speed automatic as opposed to 4-speed, which is what I've got in here now. So the gates didn't match up. You can make it work, but it was going to be awkward and not going to line up right. So just scrapped it. Went with just an aftermarket GM style steering column. Cool thing with this, not only does it have the correct shift gate, it's got tilt. So we got an upgrade. Awesome. Got to patch a hole in the firewall. I did like a little template. I'll show you. No, got a little template. So this is what I'm going to make out of metal. This is the original opening, and that is not going to work because this is what seals the new column to the firewall. Yeah, got nothing to attach it to. So we're going to take this, transfer it to a piece of metal, and then place it on the attach it to the firewall. Probably some self-tappers. I might weld it. Don't know yet. Hadn't decided. Depends on how froggy I'm feeling. Honestly, self-tappers probably be just fine. Let's say the other project I want to work on, that's the strange part of strange wrenching. LS swap the world. That's not strange. Everybody, this has been done 100 times. This is not weird or special or unique. The strange part is the, I don't know how to say it, not accessories, but the other systems of the truck. So like I said, it's got a GM wiring harness in it. The original factory brake booster wouldn't fit with the new engine. It's just way too big. It collided with the coil packs and the valve cover, and it was just not going to work. So, going to go with electric brake booster. What? Yeah. It's out of a 2018 Honda CR-V. There you go. So having to do a little bit of modification to the brake booster, the bracket that attaches the brake booster to the original firewall. I'm having to do a little bit of modifications to that. I'll show you once I get over there to it to make it work. Gonna have to do different sort of adapter bracket setup, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But here you go. Strange, right? 2018 Honda part. This is called an iBooster. It's also found in Teslas and a couple other cars. A lot of people nowadays use them because it doesn't require any vacuum or anything, and it's all standalone in this unit. All you have to do is provide power to this guy, and everything is internal. So no standalone controllers or anything like that. It's just provide power to this unit, bolt it up. They make an adapter. This is an M12 bubble flare. You can get an adapter to make it a 3/16 inverted. So one little adapter here converts it over to the factory style lines, and it's all OEM factory stuff from there. So easy. So nothing left to it but to do it. We're going to start with I'm thinking about this for a week now, but the steering column's kind of bugging me because the truck's now less put together than it was when I started last weekend. So let's get back to where we was before we ran into that hiccup with the steering column. Let's get that fixed, and then we will go from there. So thank you guys for sticking with me and hanging in there, and we'll get to some good stuff now. Thanks. Let's go. All right. Just trying to get y'all in here where you can see. Got a old door skin used for patching some stuff. As you can see, I've already cut a few holes out of it, patching other stuff. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take our template. My plasma torch is dead at the moment. The trigger is not functioning. So we're going to do this old school cutoff wheel. Nothing wrong with it. Just as good as anything else. It's how I learned to do metal work, is with grinder and a torch. So plasma's nice, but it's not the only way to do things. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So I'm going to take my template, I'm going to get a piece of soapstone, trace it out, cut it out with an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. Not that cutoff wheel, but a cutoff wheel. And in case you didn't know, see how chewed up that edge is? Yeah, don't use that. That's going to explode on you. So, trash. Get a new one. There we go. We'll switch over to a flat disc and clean these edges. We'll set it up there and get a rough idea as to where the center line, the hole, needs to be. I got a 3-inch hole saw to oversize the hole just a little bit, so hopefully give us, because it's a 2-inch steering shaft, 2-inch steering column. So I got a 3-inch hole saw to give us a little, room to wiggle here. So let's get that marked up and kind of mocked up and see what we're working with. Alright, just got this marked up real quick to show you. So this mark is what I envisioned as the center line when I put the steering shaft in. So I mounted it below the dash in the factory location, just with a different style mount, and then attached it to the gearbox and kind of just laid my template up there and got a rough idea of where I wanted center line to be. Now, kind of hard to tell here, but you see the dots? That's where the mount points for that bracket land. So that's why I couldn't just throw it on the firewall and be good to go. Well, no, it didn't work that way. So this is what we're doing. And what I'm doing now is I'll take a pair of scissors or a knife or something and cut this out just to give me a kind of a rough idea. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I got a hole saw. So we'll lay this up on our piece of metal kind of where we want it, and we'll just drill through this. We'll get a good idea of where center is, and we'll just dot it and go from there. Cool. Easy enough. will you? That's why I try to plan more than one thing in a day. Google and ChatGPT said that that universal steering column used a 3/4 inch DD style shaft, which is true if you measure it the short way. If you measure it the long way, it's 1 inch. That's what you get for not checking yourself. Don't always trust the Google and the AI, kids. It ain't always right. Do your own research and find out. So, this is correct. 3/4, 36 spline. This is incorrect. Not going to work. So, we got our plate cut. I'm not going to mount it or anything because I want to make sure this coupling's in place and functioning before I permanently attach the new plate that we made and finalize the fitment and all that. So we will move on to working on the brake booster. There we go. All right, let me take you over here and show you what I was talking about with the bracketry, because the factory booster was on a bracket that spaced it out just a little bit off the firewall, and that booster is intended to be bolted directly to the firewall. With that being said, though, it achieves this with a adapter plate. This is from the factory now. The OEM one, the OEM's or the iBooster from the factory only uses 2 bolts to hold it in position. That's it. One, two. My fear is, obviously, not only are you putting your life and other people's lives on 2 bolts, my fear is this. You'll see what I'm talking about. As you're mashing it, it'll do this right here. So what I've come up with is the factory adapter. Here you go. Here is the factory adapter. So this bolted to this with just those 2 holes right there in the center. And then, you see it? Yeah, there you go. Just had the 2 holes. And then the 4 bolts attach this to the firewall, and then just the 2 bolts is all that attaches this to this. But because it's sucked up in there, it doesn't give it the opportunity to do this. So we got to get creative. And I'm sure I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, so let me just show you. There you go. So that's the bracket that the booster attaches to, the factory booster. And you can see how close it is to the valve cover and the coil packs. So let's see if we can get a better idea here. So here's the iBooster. Yeah, I'll try to make it make more sense, but here we go.